Hi, I'm Megan. I am back. I'm a blogger just like you guys. And recently I went to my host, which was GoDaddy, with a really simple problem. I was having an issue with my WordPress editor freezing in the middle of, typing and editing. Seemed like a really simple problem, but what I walked away with was a completely broken site, lost traffic, my site was down for days, and a big mess for me to clean up on my own. GoDaddy literally caused the problem, then told me, sorry, we can't really help anymore. You're gonna have to find someone outside of our service to fix this. It was the worst and most stressful experience that I've ever had in my years of blogging. And I'm gonna share this story so that other creators and bloggers can learn from, well, I would say my mistake, but I'm not sure I made any mistakes. We'll learn from my experience. So after I quickly just explain what happened with GoDaddy, I'm going to end with some better website hosts that I think make just a much better option, and ones that I wish I would have picked from the beginning. So in my 7+ years of having this blog, I've always been with GoDaddy. They're the host that I picked from the beginning. And honestly, I haven't had any problems up until recently. But now looking back, I think that the reason I didn't have any problems was because my website was small. It pretty much ran itself. I never had any really big technical issues that I needed help with. So everything, was kind of just running smooth, running on its own. I really didn't have to deal with GoDaddy hardly ever. So when I started having this problem with just my WordPress freezing and just trying a bunch of different things on my own to figure out what was wrong, I figured, why not call GoDaddy? Since they are my host, I know that sometimes they can help with WordPress related things. So I gave it a shot, gave them a call, and everything just went downhill from there. Everything that they decided to troubleshoot caused more and more stuff to break on my site. And not only that, every single person I talked to tried to get me to pay for another service, for some premium website service that really wasn't related to fixing the current problem. Each person I talked to promised that this was a really easy fix. They all acted like they knew what the problem was and promised, that it would be fixed within a few hours. Sometimes they told me to wait up to 24 hours. However, every single one of these times, something worse happened. And some of these led to all of my links, my URL, the slugs for each one of my recipes being reset to some default slug, so that anytime someone clicked on, a pin in Pinterest, it would take them to a 404 error page because GoDaddy just changed all of my links to my recipes. They at one point had my entire site down. You couldn't find it on Google. It was just down completely. Again, this also, affected my Pinterest traffic because, they clicked on these pins and it took them to a site that wasn't working. This went on for days. I was super stressed. I kept letting the person know on the phone how this was affecting me, how it's affecting my revenue, and they just kept reassuring me that it would be fixed, it would be fixed. So during all of this, there were several of the people that I talked to over there at GoDaddy that mentioned that there was malware detected on my site, that it looked like it was being attacked by, just in different areas. So I started just having intrusive thoughts and thought okay, maybe, something I've shared on YouTube attracted some bad people. I also had a dispute with someone who stole my photos that I was trying to go back and forth with. And I got in my own head and was really worried about the stuff that I was sharing, because everything I'm sharing over here on YouTube is about my real website, and I'm sharing, my numbers and everything. So I got in my own head and just got worried that there was some bad seed out there, and decided to make my YouTube channel private while I figured all of this out. Because on all the other platforms like Instagram, TikTok, you can just make your page public or private with the click of a button. However, I learned that it is not that simple with YouTube. It was pretty easy to make it private, but it was, oh my gosh, it was so hard to get it back to public. And I'm not sure what I did wrong. I don't know if it's because my the email that I'm using is under a different email for I don't know if I have two accounts linked to my YouTube. That was just a whole other mess in itself, which I won't really get into. If you guys do have any questions though, just let me know on the side. If you have any questions about making your channel private, I'll explain to you what I learned. However, that is the reason or the story behind what happened to my channel. It all started with this mess with GoDaddy. And then again, just getting it public again was almost impossible. I really thought I lost this channel and all the content for good. So I'm just happy to be back. I'm happy my website's back. I'm happy my channel's back. And I'm really hoping that some of you guys can learn from my mistakes and just pick a better host from the beginning, which again, I'll share some of those or the ones I like at the end of this video. This was just extremely disappointing to hear that not only did they cause all of these problems and break my site, but now they were putting it on me to go fix it. So thank goodness I had a backup of my website from when it was functioning properly before GoDaddy like messed up all the links. So I had a good backup to work with, and I went to Upwork and went and found a developer who was able to help me. So thank goodness I found this really, really amazing person that was just a lifesaver. We went back and forth with talking about moving away from GoDaddy because at this point, the developer was already going to have to basically like rebuild my site. We decided that we should just take that good backup and then just get over to a new host. So what I learned from all this is that GoDaddy, they are not well optimized for WordPress. They have all different kinds of skill levels with their agents. You could get someone who knows a lot versus someone who really just doesn't know much. And I could tell that with all the different people that I spoke with. Some seemed a little more understanding of the problem than others, even though none of them were able to fix it. In fact, some of them made the problems much worse. And their backend tools are dated and they're not user-friendly. It was almost impossible for me to respond with people on the tickets they were opening. Everything was just broken. You couldn't click on the link to message the person. I would have to keep calling back, re-explaining my problem. It was a nightmare. Just the service was horrible, and I do not feel that anyone genuinely cared about like how severe of a problem this was for me. Let's talk about where I ended up. I am now with Siteground. They are my host, and so far I am loving their platform, their tools. They're very, very inexpensive. I will mention another host that came up as a good option is WP Engine. However, they are very, very expensive. But I did a lot of research on my own. I also kind of picked the brain of the developer I was using, who he had a lot of experience just with this, with building websites in general. And he really feels that Siteground and WP Engine are both really good. And, in his experience, he felt that Siteground was great. Even though it's much, much cheaper, it still has a lot of benefits. So for me, cost-wise, Siteground made a lot more sense. And I've been using them now for about a month and already just really, really see a big difference. My performance is faster. They have way better service. I really like their dashboard. It's super user-friendly. And since their fee for hosting is so cheap, I was able to actually spend a little extra for their premium backup and site scanner service, which just protects my website even more. And I really, really like this plugin that they have, which is called Speed Optimizer. They just have so many different tools that are making my site faster and safer. There's actually a few other plugins that I use to just kind of keep my website super safe right now, but I'm going to make another video about that. So coming up next, one of you guys requested this, is a video of kind of how I have my site set up, what plugins I use, theme, and my host, even though I just talked about that a little bit right now. But I'll make a more detailed video coming up soon. But for now, I just wanted to share those two hosts that are great options, Siteground and WP Engine. However, again, WP Engine is very expensive, but if you have a WordPress site, they are probably the best. But just because they're expensive doesn't mean they're the only option. Again, so far my experience with Siteground has been amazing. If anything changes or I have any trouble with them, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But so far I see a major difference, a major positive difference in switching over to them. I hope that helps you. If you're just getting started, stay away from GoDaddy, check out Siteground. And if you guys already have your blog set up, let me know who you use as a host in the comments. I'm curious to hear who you guys use and what your experience has been. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. I learned just as much from you guys as hopefully you're learning from me. So stick around. If you're not subscribing already, please help me out with a subscribe. I'll be back with a new video soon.